attendance, should we kind of say who people represent, or maybe not, I guess?
I mean, we can ask Riley to do that if you'd like.
I just mean, like, it seems like we have a, intentional reason why people are invited, and we don't really, I mean, we can just tell people, I guess, if they ask us.
I don't think we have it listed on the web, the council or the staff committee, representation at all, so.
We're on.
Good deal. All right, with the time being whatever it is, 4:08, we'll call the meeting to order. Riley, would you like to take attendance?
All right, Desiree Bongers, Jolene Schatzinger,
Here.
Travis Liptow,
Yep.
Maddie Coster,
Here.
Jason Mansmith.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Great. Riley did send out meeting minutes from July, September, and November. You'll notice in November we didn't have quorum, so there's not really any meeting minutes. But you'll also know in there that it's listed as January 14th instead of November 14th, so Riley will make that change on the meeting minutes. But other than that, if we've had a chance to review them, we can approve them. Otherwise, we can, I guess, table them if we need be, but other than that, if there's any changes that need to be made, I just looked through them real quick, and I didn't see anything that needed to be addressed.
I'm wondering if when we refer to people's names, I'm noticing that we refer to, for example, us two as Mansmith and Schatzinger, and it's because it's the first time we list our names, if we want to list our first names as well. And then in subsequent times, if we are listed, then I think it's okay to put our last name, but especially in the attendance, just for clarity.
Okay,
Maybe it makes sense to put our first and last name.
all right,
Thank you.
I can do that. I think I can spell both of your
I
names,
hope so.
each of your names.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, I've also seen where we put those that are not in attendance, listed as absent, so that we know, the full listing of our committee. It could be something in the future we consider.
Okay,
Thank you, Riley.
you got it.
Does anyone like to make a motion to approve those? I can do that. I'll make a motion to approve. Do you have a second?
I'll second the minutes as presented. I was going to say with the moving forward, but that wasn't part of the original motion, I suppose, with the suggested changes moving forward. But I don't if that was.
I mean, we can add. So with the changes in process, I will make the motion to approve the meeting minutes, if that's good.
And I second it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Let's take a look at the 2023 budget to start off, but it also includes the previous 2022 budget here as well. Or did I type that as well? It's just 2022, okay. And I made a typo on that, so I apologize. So, Riley, anything that you need to discuss budget-wise with us on that? Would you like a printed copy?
Oh, yeah, I would.
Sure.
Actually, that's much better, thanks. I think that the only point that I'd bring up is that you can see that we were 25% under budget, and that was almost entirely due to part-time salaries for operating the bulk of the year with one person instead of three. And a couple of the other columns were a little out of balance from their budgeted amount, but the overall budget numbers were in line. And the part-time salaries is the difference. That's all.
Were we typically running more than 25% less than budget previous years?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. In '21, we were exactly at budget.
Okay.
And again, your explanation is because of staffing,
Yes.
which, do we have it on the agenda moving forward, a staffing update?
I believe so, Chris. We have a conversation on this with it. He's got the other side of the agenda for me, so.
Oh, yeah.
There we go, we'll get all the papers right. All right. Any other concerns, anything that you see moving forward in 2023 that we need to adjust or look at or?
Just to verify.
Right.
I think that we could use an adjustment in the budget amount, of 52,900. We could afford to adjust that up with some of the money that 51,120 has been adjusted down.
Okay. For the public that's watching who doesn't know what 5120 is or 50.
That's good.
51, thank you, 51,120 is the part-time salary column, and 52,900 is contractual services, and we're making more use of independent contractors to help cover events and perform functions. And we're not paying part-time employees. So while that continues, it's going to change the balance, and we're going to hit the 52,900 column harder than we would have normally, while not drawing from 51,120, so.
Adam, is that something they can flexibly do?
So what I would say is, you know, the allocated budget for 2023, that I don't think you all had really a crack at providing much, if any, input on because of not being able to meet.
Right.
Overall, basically, there was a significant reduction from the previous year in part-time salaries. So down from,
Real quick, to clarify, not a decrease in the salary, a decrease in the amount spent because we didn't have the people.
yeah,
It's
so
not like our
part-time
salaries.
salaries went down from like 43 to 33,000.
What we
because-
spent, but we didn't decrease their salary.
No,
Exactly.
it's
Just
just overall
clarifying.
salaries for
Yes.
the part-timers.
Yes.
And everything like that. In terms of other contractual services, that was not increased in this previous year's budget. The request came in under, and frankly, it went under, or the contractual services went from 6,400 in the previous year to 4,500. If we would have known we needed more there, we would have put more there. But that was not communicated. In addition to that, just going back to 2022, you look at the revenues, there's only $61,000 in the account there for cable TV licenses. That is only 3 payments, okay? So there'll be another $20,000 payment or so that comes in there. So you had revenues about 110,000, because this is all unaudited, and you spent, unless anything comes up, $58,000. So a lot of that had to do with the salary amounts or part-time salaries and payments to that. In addition to that, there's publication dues and subscriptions. I think there's flexibility within the budget, because that was budgeted again at $10,760. There's the ability to use that fund more flexibly for those services without changing the budget or anything like that. But all in, the department didn't spend in 2022, and therefore those trends were reflected into 2023.
All right. Questions, anyone?
What he said.
So, I mean, ultimately, this is a conversation which, forgive me, we're just now approving the budget, so I don't want to go off agenda, but it's a conversation of being fiscally smart for our taxpayers and what we're, you know, being stewards of that, but also looking at, are we providing the best services we can for our community, and looking at that, right? Is this kind of the balance we're trying to strike here?
Do you feel, and I'll ask the following question, do you feel the content and the amount of content was similar to years past due to the lack of employees that we did have? Were there the same amount of things with these other opportunities?
There was broadly the same amount of content. There may have been more.
Okay.
There were some other details, some organizational details that are piling up behind the scenes that people don't see.
And I think we'll talk about staffing and those kind of things coming up here a little later as well. So, do we need to approve the budget or just review the budget? Yeah, we just need to review, I think.
Just-
So,
it's-
yeah. I didn't think there was anything that we needed to worry about moving forward on that and making a movement for us, so. All right, Riley, we'll turn it over for you for a little bit here as well as we talk about some of the winter programming updates and then relationships with the school district and work we're doing with the college as well.
Well, sports season is going as we expected, and we're busy with lots of that. We've covered all the concerts that we could at Ripon Area School District. Got the middle school choir concert and the band concert and the high school concerts. And we're happy to support the district in any way we can. With Ripon College, we've been covering sports. And once in a while, I send an email asking the music department if they have concert footage, and sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. And I stopped going there to record concerts when they installed a PTZ system like ours. And they assured me that I could get concert footage. And
Have you been getting a fair amount of it, or is it?
sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, being that we have a representative from the college that's joining us, I mean, is there anything you need to be more direct about as far as asking for support or assistance?
I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like we're in a position to tell them that they need to send the footage to us.
No, but you feel like you're asking and asking what you can do to be.
I may be asking people that are already overworked and don't really care too much. And I think that at the beginning of this program, when they just had a new system, they had a student worker that perhaps wasn't as attentive to detail as they hoped.
Well, outside of that, I mean, isn't there something that we could do to support that then? I mean, if they're having issues with the.
Sure, drop a note to the department chair. And mention that Ripon Channel would love to be able to broadcast recordings of concerts. Not necessarily individual recitals unless they're really good, but ensemble concerts, we'd love that.
Okay.
And being that you have, again, you know, Maddie, are you gonna ask, I mean, how is that relationship going as far as with broadcasting, athletics, things like that, from the Wilmore, everything is going well?
I think it's fine.
I've had no complaints.
Okay.
So when it comes to broadcasting, I know that they take over, but I have had no complaints about anything. Obviously, I don't know anything really inside of the music department or anything like that because that's not my jurisdiction. But if you want me to communicate with someone, I'm more than willing to do that.
Yeah, just a friendly note.
Okay. I will.
And I'll be happy to reach out as well.
Sure.
Just to say, hey, we'd really appreciate the content at least
Yeah.
for the community.
Or seeing how we can support it.
That's exactly right. Because I think that there's a lot of good that happens there. So showing that to a wider public is a good thing.
Well, we want to be a community partner, not make them feel, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Right. It's not a demand, it's just,
Yeah.
it's an ask,
Yeah, great.
yeah.
I know just for the group, we did add a wrestling meet in last week as well, which is the first
Oh, we
time we've
did,
done
we
one in a
did cover a
while.
high school wrestling match with a new announcer, that went well. And got the added excitement of having it be a triple duel. Or a quad, no, it was a quad meet, there were 4 schools there. So, there was wrestling all over the place.
And no concerns, no dropouts, Wi-Fi issues or anything, since Travis is here, right?
No, no.
Right, everything is good.
No, Travis gets another pat on the back. Our web service at the high school has been strong and robust and reliable for some time.
Awesome. We put in new access points and we actually upgraded our bandwidth, so I think this summer we kind of kicked some of those issues to the curb.
Yeah, I've had no complaints with that at all.
Awesome.
We'll come up to other further discussion and opportunities a little bit
Oh,
later.
but as long as we're there and Maddie is here, I would like to be able to have a dedicated internet port upstairs at the Weisky Gymnasium. There's one port that I guess we're allowed to use, but it's often co-opted for the scoreboard operator. And it would be great if I could have access to good solid internet so that we can run our own stream as well as providing the Midwest Conference feed.
Yeah, is there any way, you can throw that into an email for me with the details, because obviously, like, IT-wise and streaming source-wise, I don't know much, but then I'll pop it over to IT and just be like, hey, and then I could be someone who comes there and shows them, as long as I know the details on that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect.
Right,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, anything else for the good of the group on programming wise?
I know we're short-staffed, Riley. I know there have probably been some plan commission and historic preservation meetings that weren't covered. Am I correct in that?
I missed historic preservation, yes,
Okay.
and plan.
And
That's right.
if there's a way, if I can know ahead of time, I might be able to get them recorded via Zoom or some other way and then get you a copy. So just let me know.
Yeah,
And I can try to make an alternative because I'm not gonna go back there and start pushing buttons to record things.
So is
well,
there,
you just outlined an integration plan for the future to turn it into a one-button operation.
that's what I'm wondering.
I know,
Right, I mean, is there a way to remote in if we have a circumstance like that? If Riley's not available, can somebody make it a one-button
yeah, and
operation?
I agree. I think it's a waste of time to make somebody come in and sit here for, 45 minutes just watching a meeting to push a button and turn it on and off. It
Right.
doesn't make sense. So if there's something we can do, if I'm here or somebody can remote in or something that's just, kind of foolproof,
That would really
That would
be,
help.
that would be a worthwhile upgrade.
Is that something you can put together a report on how we can do that,
Sure,
right?
sure, that may take some time, but,
Okay.
but that's,
Right.
sure, but that's
We have some.
that's the point.
We have some IT folks that are on our committee that I'm sure have some insight on how to remote access on some of those opportunities, so.
and it's not the end of the world that the meetings get missed. I mean, it's important that we try to cover city functions and events or meetings as well. That's the core of what we do. So I get it, it's a busy time of year too. It's more intense with basketball and wrestling and holidays. So I wasn't upset. I just wanted to make sure we weren't getting into a situation where we're not able to broadcast certain things.
Well, at a base level, if we can't live stream it, do we have the equipment to at least record it, that it can at least be turned in later? I mean, that is kind of a one button if we had even an iPad on a stand or something, correct?
No, and
Yeah.
that's where we get to it. Even Zoom has a function where
You can record
I can record a video and then share it
Right.
with Riley, which we've done before.
Sure.
And in council meetings or other things that we've had going on. And it's not as customized or whatever, but it gets the job done.
In a room this size, a phone or an iPad is acceptable.
So could it, at a base level, be as simple as putting in a request, Riley, for an iPad on a stand that we keep in this room? I mean, at a base level, in the near future, could that be something?
Yeah, sure. Sure, we could I don't know, I guess that's not too much duplication of equipment. We have one, but it goes with us on remotes. So the only time we would need an iPad in here is if that one's out being used. So I guess that wouldn't really be duplication, it would just be a pad that spent
Well,
most
firm
of its life
believers in
sitting
backup
around.
as well too,
You know,
right?
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah,
guess,
if
hurt
we can
to-
set something up, Riley, just let me know.
yeah,
I'd be happy to help.
yeah,
I have to come to most of the meetings anyway.
right.
true, true.
So that's my, for future meeting, agenda items.
Okay.
And we'll make
We'll
sure
do
that
that.
Jolene's here because she can make sure that the microphone's pointed the right direction.
Right, exactly. She is the pro at that.
Oh.
So, yeah.
You're talking about from the
Yeah.
other events, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, save the day.
Yeah.
I saw you do it.
All right, let's move on to operations unless we have any other discussions concerning the programming side of things. So just want to get an update on where that partnership stands with HTV and then maybe some app progress and then the staffing as well. So if you'd like to maybe address some of those, that would be great.
Well, I don't know, Hometown Broadcasting, we've received 2 payments so far, and it's January now, so September, October, November, December, we're almost 5 months in, we've got 2 payments. I don't know. Adam and I have talked about this a little bit. I'm not sure how strong it is for us. I feel like we're providing pretty good service and not necessarily getting return on investment.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just going back on it, you know, we had received in 2022 at the end of the year, $1,012.50 in advertising. We had anticipated way more than that. But I talked to Riley a little bit about what to expect in previous years. We didn't really know because it was kind of one of the first years doing it. I think the expectation was more than $1,000 for the amount of work and the amount of time and the amount of benefit there is there. So if nothing else, just my recommendation, not that it matters, but is to formalize something and sort of get something set in stone if we want to continue that relationship, because I don't know if not for Riley asking, we would have received a payment. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and throughout, for the entire fall and winter sports season between 21 and 22 last year, we received $14,500 roughly. And so far this year, we've received $2,024. We did get 2 checks.
yeah,
Yeah, so
So that's
So
like $12,000 difference.
we're pretty far off the pace.
yeah.
Do we want to invite them to our meeting? Would that be valuable?
I don't know I think we need to get a solid contract
Yeah,
down. I
absolutely.
think there
That
needs
needs
to
to be
be some
discussion.
Right.
agreement put in place. And what's the expectation of service and what are they giving back in terms of monetary? Because if they're using our games to sell ads and they're taking ad revenue and not sharing that, that is a problem.
Yeah, I agree. And my feeling is that it's not working out as well as I'd hoped, but I feel like we should continue for the next 6 weeks until the basketball season's over. There's no sense dropping it in the
No.
middle of the season.
Well, I don't know what there's to drop. I don't know
Well,
what-
you're right about that, right, yeah. But-
And I know they're not
But you
taking.
know what I mean.
Yeah, they're not taking all of the games on the Ripon channel this year. Because there's some staffing issues out there as well, too.
Oh, is that right?
Right,
So some
so-
of the ones that we're streaming aren't actually going?
Right. I think you have some later this week and they're not taking them.
Oh, no kidding.
So.
So that could explain the difference in.
It could be, but I'm not 100% sure on
Well,
that. So
yeah, okay.
that conversation is best for Tom and Todd. I think you need
It's
to have
not,
that
yeah,
discussion,
right.
so,
I wouldn't expect you to answer those
yeah,
questions.
so.
So between now and next meeting, is that something you're gonna follow up on? Is
I
that,
have to,
okay,
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, because that $12,000 difference is a little concerning.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if sales have fallen through the floor, that's one thing, but
Right.
there have been other things too.
Right.
And I guess, put some of that on me. I expected that if everyone at the table agreed that there would be some documents produced and some checks sent, that it would happen.
Right.
So some of that's my fault.
Okay. App progress, we're on that, we moving on that?
Well, yes, we can move forward here this year, because I thought that we had re-upped our service contract in June. Okay, they sent an invoice, and I said, oh, look at that. And I forwarded it to Naomi, and apparently it got lost in translation. And I'm not blaming anyone. I guess if there's blame, it's as much me as anyone else. But Naomi has a different system than Ann does, and she apparently didn't see the attachment that was on the email. It either didn't get to her or she didn't see it, one of those. And so it just went away. I presumed it was taken care of. And then a couple of months went by, and the Castus people sent me another note. And I said, oh, look at this. So I sent it again, and the same kind of thing happened. And so finally, at the beginning of December, I sent it again with a big red flag on it. And it was seen and invoiced and approved.
Okay.
So the fee is paid, so now we can move forward.
And do we know what platforms that's gonna be available on?
We'll have it on Roku,
Roku?
yes. And I think if we can get some help from IT and a clever person to help me set it up, I think there's a way that we can stream live to cable when we're streaming live to YouTube. Like a small, relatively inexpensive piece of hardware. But that, now, on the other hand, that may require somebody being here
Right.
to
Yeah.
make that happen.
To clarify, is the app a Castus app, or is it a Ripon channel app? So do we have to download Castus and then get the Ripon channel through Castus as like the aggregator of all these other people that have Castus?
No, I
Or,
think it's
you know,
ours.
It's kind of native
It's
to
Ripon
us.
channel,
Okay,
yes, I think so.
okay.
So a while ago when we were talking about this, I remember that there was the talk of having a county, sort of like within the app, you could have a separate channel for the county board meetings as an
Sure.
example, and then city, government, and then perhaps athletics or something like, I mean, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I think you can set up individual channels inside of the app.
So is that something that you're looking into then?
I haven't spent much time looking into that. That's
If
right.
you wanna look, if you want some help looking at it, forward it to me, I'll be happy to take
Good.
I'll
Yeah.
look at it and see what we can come up with on it, so.
Yeah,
Because if it's just in terms of library and indexing of them, that's the easiest, as possible, right? So, or just linking up to, Fond du Lac County's, things that they have there too, so happy to help you on that.
what do they use there now at the county level?
Not sure.
Do we know?
No.
Do they still televise meetings?
They do, but it's through the other channel, through Spectrum,
Sure.
one of the others, so.
Do you think you'll have time to look at that, or do you need for before
I
next
could, I
meeting?
could use some help for that,
Okay.
To look
yeah.
at what the county uses?
yes.
I'll find
Yeah,
it.
because I'm never over there. I wouldn't have any idea.
I think it could be as simple as I mean, I don't mean to sound basic here, but calling there and searching on making that connection because we don't just want to do something without them knowing,
Oh, no,
so.
no, absolutely not. We're not gonna try to just pirate their feed.
Right,
No.
right. So I feel like it would make sense for you to make that connection with them to let them know, hey, we're interested in that, so that they know, and maybe they can even promote it to folks as well, that this is gonna be happening with the Ripon channel. Don't we think?
I would agree. And especially if you have the ability to go live with this app and show it live here as well as on their channel. And so that just
Yeah.
opens up that a little bit more, right?
Sure.
Seems like a great opportunity, I think.
All right, staffing. Do you need help,
Yes,
staffing
Yes.
level wise?
yes, we do.
So do we need to take a look, are we at that point where we need to break down into job descriptions and say, here, we need to review these things in addition to salary or pay?
We are, and I have been putting a great deal of thought into that and exactly what a good position might be that would really be helpful. And I think it gets down to we need two people. We need one person who wants to run around and take equipment to events and run it. Maybe that's something we can keep handling with contractors, depends. You know, you kind of, to get a person with the experience level required to make it happen might cost more than we're willing to pay. I don't know. We've been kind of fortunate so far, but we might be able to continue on that. And I think we could use another person, maybe whose job is in here, and allocate the money that we've budgeted for social media to have that happen. Take care of that, schedule the channel, edit content, be a librarian, make the connections, clean up the loose ends.
So currently, can you share your current staffing situation is
Me,
only you?
yes,
So that's been a change
it has,
as
So you're
of-
suggesting 3 people?
yes,
Okay. Total,
yes.
okay.
So our 2 former staff members left when?
Yeah, in the spring. Well, Chris worked and did some archiving through the summer, but he was working at home through the summer. And he's done a little bit of scheduling and a little bit of odds and ends for us, and looked at social media throughout the fall.
Because I thought last time we
But-
met, he was still working with us.
He was still working with us a bit at a low level, but I think he's decided that he needs to move forward, and he wanted to take a bigger role, and frankly, he had a good idea of how the position might work, but he wanted to get paid more than I do.
Sure. But so if I hadn't asked,
So,
I
you know.
wouldn't have known that you're the only one
Oh.
right now, right? So I mean, this is important, I guess, probably for us to know if you need more help. So what you're stating is you are currently the only one on staff.
Yes,
And this is a new development.
it is. It is.
And the plan to move forward to,
Now see, this is where I could stand to bounce this around a little bit. And it would take some understanding of what we do, and maybe a restructuring of what we do. But essentially, I need a runaround person and I need a studio person, I think. Now, that could be the same person if there were one ambitious individual, but then that might require that person gets more hours than we want to pay. Because then it becomes more than a part-time position, and we don't want to go there. Maybe this is something that we shouldn't discuss in an open meeting.
No, I don't think that's the process, but I mean, we can discuss it, but I'm also coming back to the fact that we're continuing to see dwindling franchise fees,
It's-
right? And not any money coming in from other partnerships. How do we sustain that?
Maybe we need to hire a sales guy.
Are there a lot of public access channels that have salespeople? I'm just asking, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Right, you know, and
No,
and
I
how do you?
I don't think so.
How do we pay that? That's a whole different meeting, right? I understand the structure of that, but
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad time for us to take a look at the structure of the entire, platform right now and see where we're at with everything.
See how we can make some economies.
Right. We did this maybe 3 or 4 years ago,
Yes.
when we kind of made a focus to say, hey, we're gonna go towards our people that aren't necessarily cable subscribers and more towards community members, right?
Right.
So I think maybe this is time for us to take a look at that again and just lay it out.
well, my thought is, I'm glad that you're bringing this up, Riley, I want to look to you as a professional that knows what is needed better than probably any of us in your role to present what you think you need. My concern is, do we have the ability to wait for a whole our next meeting, you know, I guess at a base level, doesn't it make sense to present with what you think we need? We can look at what you've had in the past, you have those job descriptions,
Yes.
right? Looking at what you need, how does that align with our budget for this year? And then are we able to wait, are you able to provide what you need from now until next month when we meet with current staffing? Isn't that kind of the base question right now?
Okay, that's, the answer to that question is that I've managed to schedule contractors to cover certain dates through January and February that I'm not able to with sports events. And then the ones that I can be at, I'll be at. So I guess the immediate direct answer is yes, I can cover it for a couple of months. But also, that's not the best way to go, I don't think.
And are contractors in general about a neutral? Are we spending more money with contractors, less money, or kind of neutral for the budget related to staff that we would have?
Oh, it's costing us money. We're spending more, even though the two people that I've been using are working at very reasonable rates. It's a lot for us.
So
It's cheap for real world, but it's a lot for here.
So my understanding is, in this last time, we have no other staffing other than you. We are hiring contractors, which is costing us more money. And we don't have a specific plan moving forward on getting us back on track. Is that where we're currently at?
I would say yes.
That's, yeah.
Not a bad time for us to take a look at that then.
Yeah,
Right.
good opportunity. Okay.
We'll talk about that coming up in terms of when we want to maybe look at that and schedule that, because we've already thrown like 4 things that we'd like to see by the next meeting.
Yeah.
So,
That's
which
a
is,
lot.
you know, I understand, and, you know,
I just would tell you, my advice on this is if you need help, get help.
Yeah.
Okay, so the direction that I would say is review the job descriptions, make the appropriate changes to find to get the candidates coming in, or to get the basis of what you want to attract. The overall pay, you know, we have a range set for positions within cable TV, and you know, it's not a lot of money, but 15 plus or minus dollars per hour is what we're paying. So it's not just a little. I mean, it's enough, but it's not a full-time. It's not a full-time thing. So I mean, I think people would understand that coming into it, but I part of me too is you sort of in the world we're in, if you need people, you got to get people first, and then you
Right.
got to determine what you're going to have them do based on their skill set, and if they're interested in doing, because you could be looking for the unicorn, magic unicorn you'll never find.
it's not like we haven't been looking either, right? You've had it out there, right? We've been trying to put some other people in these positions for
Yeah.
a year now, right?
Right.
So,
But I mean, it's just even advertising, and if
Right.
we gotta get stuff out on Indeed, if we, a basic job description, but you just gotta find qualified people, and then see if you can plug them in to the roles that you need filled and use their skill sets. Because I just don't think at the money we are paying, you're gonna be able to dictate to anybody, or attract anybody that's.
you gotta find somebody who likes to have a little hobby that likes to get paid doing this too, right? And like you said, it's kind of the unicorn
Well,
situation.
Even at the school and stuff like that, like we have students they get paid $7.25, right? So if there was someone that was a student, but I'm sitting here and I have no idea what the job description is for either of these things that we're looking for, right? So I think the biggest thing for us is to be able to get that job description sent out ASAP to us, and then start figuring out who is a good potential person for that role, right? I have 70 student workers under me that would love to go and work somewhere part-time for $15 an hour.
Right.
Um,
And some of them already have experience in doing some of the things that we're doing, right? Because they're doing it for the
No doubt.
teams and stuff like that already. So,
So I think it's just, I had no idea, like, kind of like Julian, I didn't know that's what we were looking for, right? I also missed the last meeting. So I think that just,
Good.
if I get a job description, myself, I can try to find someone potentially to work some of these positions.
and a few of those opportunities are going to be on campus, so it's not like they've got to travel, right? It's really
Right.
kind of a good situation for them.
Right.
And the other thing is, it depends on, I know that winter, fall, and spring are big needs, but like, right, the students leave at the summer, can't guarantee that. So if we're pretty low with stuff that we have in the summer anyways, it's probably a good gig.
We're not doing any sports in the summer,
No,
Right.
right? So it kind of works out a little bit, so.
right?
And maybe even at the high school level, you
Yep,
know, who
yep,
knows?
yep.
No, you can pull on the previous job descriptions, right, as a starting point?
Right,
Okay,
I can.
okay.
And, well, I can pull on the previous job description, I can modify it to more accurately fit what we need today. Sure.
So if you could send that to Maddie
Yeah, I'll do
as soon as
that.
possible, that would be great.
Well, and maybe send it out to the whole committee, who knows?
Yeah, I
who
would
has
like to see that as well
connections.
too, right?
Okay,
All right.
great.
Okay. Anything on legislative and public feedback wise that you need to share with us, Riley?
No, there's no legislative feedback.
Just kind of going back to the public
Madison's-
feedback I've heard.
Madison's
since it's-
stalemated. Yeah, and public feedback, the feedback that I hear seems to be positive. If people are grumbling and don't like it, I don't seem to hear about it. Maybe they're afraid I'll bark at them or something.
All right, any other further discussion on programming and such? All right, move on to discussion. Programming ideas, revenue, technology updates, partnerships, I kind of keep them on there all the time, along with social media and website analytics. Anything you want to add to those things right now?
No, just that revenue, I know it's complicated, but I don't necessarily think that hiring someone in some way to help us sell sponsorships on our own would be a bad idea.
But we've got to come up with all the opportunities and how to sell it. Right, like we need to develop the packaging, you need to develop the sales
I know,
rate.
it's a big deal, and it might not be good, we'd have to look at it
Right,
obviously first.
and are they coming in making a guaranteed salary, or are they coming in making commission? Which gets a little weird, I think, probably in city government.
Right, that could be really weird, so it might not be a good thing, but I think it's worth looking at.
Okay,
And can that be something that maybe we add to one of those other job descriptions, that we were just looking at, I don't know.
right.
But,
Sure,
And we can do it in the world of underwriting instead of sponsorship, right? You can
well,
get-
underwriting is more, yeah, that's the
Right,
word I
that's
was looking
the-
for, thank you.
Right, supplemental kind
Right.
of income that goes with it. And it's
Right.
not necessarily you're out there hitting the pavement trying to sell, $5 spots.
No,
Right.
no, and,
We're saying, hey, you would be great to give us $500 to help us out,
yes,
those kind of things.
yes,
If that's just a quick form that we need to kind of put together, we got some things that we can do that on if we need to take a look at it. But I think that comes back to this whole meeting of us together trying to figure out what the direction of the channel is and the focus is here that we need to.
Well,
to
at
lay
this
out.
level, it doesn't help to have any type of sponsorship if we can't cover programming, right? So
Well,
it comes
sure.
back to the specific staffing.
Sure.
Right,
Right.
all goes with it. Technology updates, anything you have?
Nothing new, no.
Questions, Kim? Social media, website analytics, we should probably get together and take a look at that, so I can
We
work with
should.
you on that. We can get that all, so we know where we're at, or at least on those things. Because I see traction on it, right? I see people jumping
Yes,
on all the time, or, becoming subscribers of us on YouTube and things, so.
there is activity, and the YouTube subscriber number is growing. It's not rapid, but we're up 100 from last September.
And are you doing the updates on social media? Like whenever there's a new, or is that something that Castus automatically sends out, or?
No, I think WIT has that set up
Oh, WIT does,
so that
okay.
it goes,
Okay.
yeah.
And is she still doing some work for us?
I don't know, I haven't talked to her.
Okay. Well, that's
She
probably a
got pretty,
conversation.
she got pretty casual about sending invoices.
Okay, well, that's probably a conversation we can have
Alright.
with her too,
Yeah.
alright, so. We got a lot actually.
I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I'm on the website just because I was trying to understand a couple of things, and the link for the Ripon YouTube doesn't link to the current Ripon channel.
Oh,
It links to like Ripon channel 19 or something like that, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing, but I just thought I would put that
Oh,
out there.
thanks for pointing that out. That is,
Yeah,
I think that's an intern job. We're gonna have to download all that content and delete it.
I was like, cause you're up 100 subscribers, I'm like, I only see 59.
Oh, oh, no,
But
that's,
so- and then I went to the Ripon channel and then that was correct, so.
yes.
is that a WordPress page that she's running on that website? That you
No,
have?
that's, we actually have a separate YouTube site that's linked to a different email address
Oh,
that we ran for a while, 12 years ago.
And that's what's connected on the website, yeah?
That's Ripon Channel 19.
okay. So that's just a link change that we
That's a
need to
link
take care of.
change,
Okay.
yes.
And is she doing those website updates, or are we kind of left with the burden of that?
I think we are.
Okay. I'll talk to Whit if you want.
All right.
And see if I can get the, because
right.
if it's a WordPress site, which I think it is, we'll just jump in there.
Our
and
site
change-
is, yes.
Yeah, we'll just jump in.
Yes.
If you have the login credentials, we'll jump in there and change that. That's not a problem. So, okay. So we are scheduled to meet March 13th is our next time, but do you feel we want to get, do you need time? Is March an adequate amount of time to get what we've kind of asked of you right now? Or do we need
Yeah.
another meeting in between
No,
as kind of a buffer, as a refresh too?
I think March is okay. Well, what do you think? I think it's okay.
Well, so do we need to approve anything? So you have the ability to then hire without us meeting? Do you have the ability to purchase, if we need an iPad in here, for example? Do we need to approve those things? Are there reasons to approve those, or do you have?
I think Riley and I will meet and talk about a couple things.
Okay.
And then just kind of give a game plan, get some postings out there. And just, hopefully, I think if you tentatively want to meet in February, that's fine. And if we're doing well and we don't need to meet, we can push it to March. I think that's gonna be up to Riley's comfortable level of comfort as well. Moving these things forward without any meeting, or how fast things can move. So, but we can hire somebody tomorrow and not have it come to this committee. So
Okay. So that would be.
that's probably paramount right now. Okay.
Yeah,
I would think so.
So it would be the 13th, February 13th?
Yeah, let's possibly take a look at maybe if we need to meet February 13th. I'll keep everybody in the mix here on that, and then I'll make sure I check in with Riley pretty regularly here to just kind of just talk about, because we threw a lot at him. So if he needs.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, if he needs some assistance on thing, and anybody can help him out with that or willing to help him with that, please feel free to do so.
And the sooner you get someone hired, the sooner you can get help with some of these other things.
Right.
right.
I think we also need to discuss the board makeup as well. We need a few more people, right? And we need, because, and also,
thank you all for showing up.
Right.
We need the others that haven't showed up to
Right.
exit.
right,
If they haven't shown up for 2 years, we need to replace them.
yeah.
Well, and that's why I think perhaps having people who are on the board, so we all know who's present and who's not, we all see who's on the board, they know, are they being, I don't know.
Back to your comment at the start
Mhm.
about attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I don't know the bylaws off the top of my head of how many are supposed to be on this committee.
2 residents, college, school, library, city, so there's 6, I believe.
Okay,
And we had talked about this previously as well as changing the ordinance to kind of reflect that. I think I might have a draft somewhere, or I can take another stab at it, but I do feel like we need, if the structure's gonna remain the same, we need people to show up, to particularly, from the library.
yeah, we haven't seen a representative in years,
So we can cut that out with an ordinance change altogether. And then we can add another citizen rep or whatever. But I think there's an opportunity to reevaluate that, much like the staffing, and change something and get a little bit, refresh it.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good part of that discussion that we have here as we kind of relook at what the,
Sure.
the channel and the thing is all about here, so. Okay. All right, so we are scheduled to officially meet on March 13th, but we may meet on February 13th as well, if that's okay with everybody on that. But any other further discussion before we obtain a motion to adjourn? All right, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Have a good one, take care, thank you.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Travis, thanks, Maddie.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Great. I'm gonna
Oh, yeah.
turn camera off there.
Thank you for having these coming out.
Riley just brought them in actually, so.
Okay.
Yeah. They're there for you.